Yo, 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 yo. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday, everybody. Let me know if I'm good. Let me know if you guys can hear me, if the audio is good, if the visual is good. We got a special episode, special Friday night episode for the right occasion. For the right occasion. The New York Giants finally make a move when it comes to quarterback. And I know it's mixed reviews for a lot of people. I'm actually happy. I'm happy about it. Jameis Winston is definitely one of those guys that you can't mistake him for anything other than a bridge. And listen, the job's not done yet. The job's not done. We gotta go figure out how we can get this quarterback in the draft too. But I'm glad the whole Aaron Rodgers thing is over with. The Giants decided to make their decision. I'm surprised that it wasn't Russell Wilson. But guess what, man? We got Jameis. We got Jameis, and like my man said, we got him for a good price. 2-year deal, $8 million up to 16 with incentives. That's a good deal. We saved a lot of money, and guess what? We can do with some of those leftovers. Keep building this team. So shout out to everybody. Let me go ahead and shout some people out. My man Booking in the building. What's going on, Booking? How you feeling about it? Let me know, brother. Let me know. My man Antoine is in the building. He said, Yizzo. What's going on, man? What's going on? Yep, that's right. That's right. My man Shaq with the first question. Shaq says, was JW the VQB the whole time? I don't know. A lot of quarterbacks came in and we met with them, and a lot of them left without a deal. And it's funny too, because I just put out the video. I had my little mini rant about Shedeur Sanders and all that, and then I saw the news that Jameis Winston was signing with the Giants, and I was like, let me put out a quick video. Went and ate some dinner with the family and came back and said, you know what, I want to go live. Well, I had to go live today because I'm not going live tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday, so I'm taking the night off tomorrow. So I said, let me go live and hang out with the people for a little bit and see what the vibe is. In the Giants fan base when it comes to Jameis Winston. And that's a fact. Booking says he's a gunslinger. Yes, he is. One thing about Jameis Winston, he gonna throw that ball. Jameis Winston gonna throw that ball. He might throw a couple of interceptions, but he also gonna throw a couple of touchdowns too. So at least we can say it's gonna be some exciting things. And guess what? Who knows? Maybe even the guy that I refuse to name until he scores a touchdown, maybe he gets a touchdown this year because again, Jameis Winston likes to throw the ball deep. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. My man Jeffrey says, good signing for the price. Yes, it was. I believe so. Listen. Great deal for that price for sure. You got a veteran with some good leadership. A lot of people might think he's just a character or a character. What's it called? A caricature, whatever it's called. But nah, man, that's really him. The goofiness. He's funny, but guess what? People still respect him at the end of the day. He still has a lot of respect around the league, and more importantly, other players seem to like him too. Other players seem to listen to him too, even though he hasn't been a full-time starter in a long time. When he was with the Saints, he had some leadership there. When he was with the Browns, he showed some leadership there too. And guess what? He did a better job than Deshaun Watson did. So I'm happy to have him in the building, man. I am happy to have him in the building. So I think it was a good signing. But I want to get to what you guys think. So I see a lot of people seem to be happy with it. My man South said, let's get it. Central Jersey, 632 in the building. Shout out to the 632. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Jersey. Tony Owen says, Big Dash, my G. What's good, homie? What's good, Tony? We got a quarterback. What's going on here, everybody? Sean Clowney says, what's up, Dash? Papa Lou says, I sound clean. Thank you for letting me know that the vocals are good. I want to get caught up, though. Born for Sports. Shout out for Born for Sports in the building. He said, what's up, Dash? What's going on, Born for Sports? If you're not subscribed to Born for Sports, make sure you go ahead and do that. That's another content creator, but he don't just talk Giants. He talks all New York sports. So if you're a New York sports fan in total, make sure you go and subscribe to Born for Sports. Shout out to my man over there. B Coop says, what's the cap looking like now? I haven't even looked it up. But I tell you what, for the price, it didn't hurt at all. It didn't hurt at all, especially when the rumors for Aaron Rodgers were anywhere from like $33 million to $40 to $45 million. paying Jameis Winston on a 2-year deal, $8 million, 16 with incentives. I can't wait to see what the actual deal looks like. We just got the parameters. We really don't know what it looks like. But again, 2 years, $8 million, that's the minimum. So I think we did a pretty good job. That's what it's all about, Quiz. Quiz says, Dash, what up? I'm happy. Now go get Sanders. That's a fact. This is just the first part. We got to get to the rest of it. When you make this type of signing and you're not going to get Russell Wilson, you didn't sign Aaron Rodgers, this type of signing, you have either you feel confident enough that you can get Shedeur Sanders at 3 and just sit still, or you plan on making another move with this type of move here. Any other thing, it doesn't quite make sense to me. But I will say this: there was rumors for Russell Wilson to the Browns too. So who knows? If the Browns go with Russell Wilson, maybe they don't have the urgency to go quarterback right away. They'll be tying up a lot of money, but we'll see what happens. My man David Daniels says, good signing. Let's go Big Blue. That's a fact. Great move by Anthony P. Shout out to Anthony in the building. Mellow Trade says, I think this is a great signing. You heard? He said, you heard? I ain't heard that in a while. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes too, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Yeah. Tomorrow's the birthday. Another spin around the sun. Another spin around the sun. Let's see what's going on. My man Trav Boogie says 2 questions. What is Tommy DeVito's role, and why do we not use Hyatt? That's a great question. Tommy DeVito's role is going to stay the same. He's a third string quarterback, emergency quarterback. I think that stays the same unless the New York Giants are unable to get a quarterback in the draft, which I think that's just going to be flat out impossible. You have to do that. You can't start the season with Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito. Even though a lot of people like this Jameis Winston deal, it's just the beginning of what's to come next. So I think Tommy DeVito's role does not change. He's still going to be the third string quarterback, still a developmental guy, still gets to hang out with his home team. You know what I mean? And then when it comes to Jalen Hyatt, the man whose name I can't say until he scores another touchdown, I am hoping because Jameis Winston likes to go vertical, maybe, just maybe, that man gets his first touchdown next year, depending on, we'll see what happens, though. We will see what happens. My man Greg Farrell in the bill, he says, I love the move. Let's go Big Blue. He said, Josh Sanders, and we are good to go. I'm assuming you said Shedeur. That's a spell check. You know how they do it. I'm gonna chalk that up to a spell check. We know you meant Shedeur, not Josh. There's no, I don't know no Josh Sanders. I'm messing with you, man. Jose Armand says, you still think we can get Rodgers? You know what's crazy about that? I don't know. It's not I wouldn't, yeah. It's not likely, but it's possible. I'll say it's not probable. But it's not impossible. It just depends on does the move make sense now? And also, like I said, the first visit Aaron Rodgers had was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rumors are, or the report is, that he was there for 6 hours. He left without a deal, but Jameis Winston left without a deal too. 2 days later, he's a quarterback for the New York Giants. So I don't think they're going to try to tie up any more money in that quarterback situation. I think they go draft, and then, whatever those contract negotiations are going to be, that's just it. It'll be Jameis Winston, Tommy DeVito, and whoever we draft at quarterback. That's what I think it's going to be, if I had to say it right now. My man Independent said, we will use Hyatt now. Yeah, I think so. Good quality quarterback play. And also, the other part of that is Coach Dable got to play him. He got to play Hyatt. Hyatt got to be able to get on the field in order for him to get his opportunity. Last year, he did not have the opportunity. He didn't have enough snaps to even register a grade on PFF. We'll see what happens now. Hopefully, with good quarterback play, Brian Dable feels a little bit more comfortable and he opens up the playbook. But again, we know Jameis Winston. He's going to throw that ball, man. He's going to throw that ball. My man Anthony Barker says, is Russell Wilson coming? I doubt it. Now. I don't think you make this move for Jameis Winston, then also bring in Russell Wilson. That would be a little redundant, I think. I think, like I said, with this being done right now, everything else is focusing on the draft as far as quarterback goes. If you're in a position, or if you put yourself in a position to get Cam Ward, if you can sit still and get Shedeur Sanders, or if you want to move up and get Shedeur Sanders, that's a possibility too. But I will not take Jackson Dart off the table. I won't take Jalen Milroe off of the table, or any other quarterback off of the table, because again, we're not in the driver's seat when it comes to this draft. If we were picking number 2, then we would be partially in the driver's seat. But right now we're picking number 3. We're just on the outside looking in. We're at the mercy of the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns. It depends on what those people do. If they want to have a dance partner and we can trade up, that's one thing. But right now we're on the outside looking in still when it comes to Shedeur and Cam Ward. So keep your fingers crossed for that. David Daniels says, I'll say it, Dash, play Hyatt. That's a fact. That's a fact. Again, thank you for the birthday wishes, man. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Shout out to my man Chris with the $2 super chat. He says, "Can Winston rejuvenate Hyatt's career?" I guess that's the theme of the early part of this show. I hope so. And I think, and I said it earlier, Chris, it's not even up to Hyatt anymore. It's up to whether or not he can get on the field. That's a Brian Dable decision. Can he gain the trust of Brian Dable? Can he do what he has to do in order to, to prove it in practice, to get the opportunities on the field? The hardest thing about, Jalen Hyatt is you went ahead and you brought back Darius Slayton and you paid him a lot of money. Where are these snaps coming from? And he becomes an afterthought again. And then when you look at the free agency signings, we picked up some other wide receivers. Some of these guys might be camp bodies. Some of these guys actually might make the 53. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's way too early. It's way too early to to try to say something definitive. If Hyatt can actually get back on the field, I hope so though. I hope so. He said rejuvenated, never took off. That's a fact. He never got a chance to, he never got a chance to go. Water boy, that's hilarious. Shout out to my man South with the $2.99 super chat, just a super sticker. Thank you for the love and support, man. I appreciate you. My man Johnny in the building. What's going on, Johnny? He says the overall vibe of the whole team is going to be way better, especially when we draft Shedeur. I do agree. So back to Winston. Like I said, and back to his personality. I'm glad you brought it up. It's a good segue, right? Even though we're still talking about the same subject. He does have a lot of personality. Jameis Winston is a locker room guy who sometimes can prove it on the field. He runs hot and cold. But when he's hot, he's hot. Last year, he had a game, almost 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's capable of doing things like that, but he's also capable of throwing the game away. So it'll definitely be more exciting. But also, you have a guy that can, bring some extra juice, to the locker room, some extra juice to the field. I think the linemen are gonna love him. I think the team is gonna love him pretty much. He's shown that. So I'm excited about it, man. We finally got a quarterback with some type of swag, whether you like his type of swag or not. We have somebody that's not dull, for lack of a better word. The Giant Topic says, "What's up, Dash? Great video on Shedeur earlier. 1,000% agree with everything you said. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for vibing with me, Giants Topic. I appreciate you. Yeah, like I said, I want to get in here real quick and talk about Jameis Winston, because again, I'm happy, man. The wait is over. I was depressed. I don't know if how everybody else was feeling. I was depressed, man. This quarterback, we were dragging this thing on, and it's crazy too because it's only been 2 weeks, but it was like the longest 2 weeks ever. Just sitting here every morning, checking my phone, every afternoon, actually every hour, just checking the phone to see what Aaron Rodgers was doing. And guess what? We don't have to worry about Aaron Rodgers anymore right now. And that's, I love it. I'm loving it. My man South says, "What do you think about Little Jordan Humphreys?" You know what's crazy? The man's name is Little Jordan Humphreys, but he's 6'4", 225 pounds. 6'4", 225 pounds. I'll say this though. When you look at his stats, it's nothing there. It's nothing really there. Could he be something more than a camp body? Possibly. The funny thing about it is it's kind of like having Bryce Ford Wheaton all over again, just a little bit older, in my opinion. Just slightly. It's not like he's old though. He's not an old player either. But I think you have now two 6'4", 6'5", 220-pound wide receivers, and Bryce Ford Wheaton and little Jordan Humphrey. Let these guys battle it out. You know what I mean? That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking about. Let's see. Shout out to my man Koof with the 4-month subscription. He says, Dash, bro, Winston, I've been laughing so hard. Yeah, I know. It surprised me. It caught me off guard to it because I didn't expect to get that news. I didn't expect to get that news today. And it's funny. Like I said, I just put out the video on Shedeur Sanders. I was closing things down from work. And then I said, let me just check my phone again. And I went to Instagram. I saw Football Forever post, and the post was only like 26 seconds old. Got the screenshot and just shared it on Twitter. I was like, yeah, okay, because we've been talking about it, man. I don't know if people around, like everybody in Giants content, creator land or YouTube land was talking about it, but I for sure was talking about Jameis Winston as a viable option. Some people laughed at it. Some people didn't want it, but he wasn't my first choice, but he was definitely somebody that I absolutely thought was a possibility. And here we are 3 months later. Jameis Winston is a Giant for the next 2 years. And again, I think the deal is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. All right, my man Christian Fuentes says, salute Big Dash. If we took Travis Hunter at 3 and Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe are both, and Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe are both available for us in a second, which project quarterback would you prefer? Listen, if I got to pick between Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe, I'm taking Jackson Dart. I say that right. I'm an Alabama fan, and I'm taking Jackson Dart. I think his ability to pass is better than Jalen Milroe, even though Jalen Milroe probably throws the best deep ball. I like what Jackson Dart can do more than what Jalen Milroe can do. That's just me saying that. And also, Jackson Dart can tuck the ball and run too. So it is what it is with that situation. Again, thank you for the birthday wishes. Let's see if I missed anybody here. My man Kyler says, been hearing Ward and Sanders can go 1 and 2, knowing the Giants. You think we'll take Dart at 3, knowing the Raiders, Steelers, Saints, Rams could take them. I do not believe that the New York Giants will take Dart at 3. I don't believe that right now. Not saying that it can't happen. I just don't believe that. That's a lot of hype for Dart. For a guy that was, not thought of in the same light 2 months ago, and then his fast rise, I don't think he makes it all the way up to 3. I definitely believe that he ends up going in the first round, though, for real. I do believe that. Depends on what the Steelers do. Depends on what the Raiders do, too. Actually, the Raiders have Geno Smith, so they're really not in the rush right now. The Saints act like they're comfortable with, what's the guy's name with the Saints? The rookie from last year. Man, I can't remember his name. It's escaping me now. The kid that went to Oklahoma and South Carolina. I can't remember his name right now. But the Saints act like they believe in that kid. And then the Rams could definitely make that type of move too. They just gave, Stafford his money in his new deal, but you can get a young quarterback behind him. So it's definitely a risk to take if you don't take Dart at 3, because he probably won't be there at 34. Most likely won't be there at 34. But I don't think that they take it, they take him at 3. I don't think that happens. I really don't. Again, thank you for the birthday wishes. He said, scratch my super chat, Dash. All right. See what else we got going on here. A lot of happy birthdays. I appreciate that. All right, my man, Mysterious One. He says, I think Russell is out QB1 and Winston is QB2. Oh, I think Russell is our QB1 and Winston is a QB2. We won't get either Ward or Sanders. And I bet the price is too high to come back for a second tier quarterback. We have strong quarterbacks locked for 2 to 3 years. I don't think. Listen, if your plan was to sign Russell Wilson, you probably would have just signed Russell Wilson instead of Jameis Winston. Again, I think that after Matthew Stafford, I think the two options were Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. These teams know something. Aaron Rodgers went for a visit, and then all of a sudden the New York Giants make a move. You hear that there's some interest with Russell Wilson to the Cleveland Browns, and the Giants make this move for Jameis Winston. I think we're going to start seeing some of these dominoes fall. They might even happen tonight. Who knows? But we're going to get this news on Rodgers and Wilson very, very soon. And I don't think we're going to be in that market for Wilson now. Will it make sense? I don't know. But again, you're talking about paying Winston, and then you're also paying, Russell. You're kind of paying these guys to do the same thing. They're placeholders. So I don't think they do both. I don't think they sign Russell Wilson too. Not saying it's impossible, but I don't think it's probable. What's going on, Real Cold G? My man Money Mike says Rodgers wouldn't have never wanted to go to the bench and could. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's why I never wanted him in the first place. Because if you get a guy like Aaron Rodgers, I think you push your chips in the middle of the table and you try to do, a 1 year, let's try to win a championship type of deal if you went with Rodgers. And then to your point, if you get Rodgers and then you draft a rookie quarterback high, one of these top prospects, when you go to this rookie prospect, because you're most likely going to go to this rookie prospect this year, it would have absolutely have been a problem. You probably would have to trade Aaron Rodgers at like the deadline or something like that. And it would have been a bigger mess. I think it would have been a bigger mess for sure. My man Joshua S says they're gonna wind up getting Dart. I think it's a possibility for sure. It just depends on what the Browns do. It just depends on what the Browns do. That's nothing else about it, man. Yeah, again, got a shout out to the Giant Topic. Shout out to the Giant Topic. Again, another Giants content creator. If you're not subscribed to the Giant Topic, make sure you go ahead and do that. Shout out to Chris too for the reminder. Appreciate that. Let's support each other, man. In this Giants community, content creator community, let's support one another. Let's build this community up the right way. We don't have to be jealous of anybody else, run around and talk about other channels and stuff like that. We can all get along, man. We can all get along. It won't happen. But it's possible. It's possible. What's going on, JV Bronx? JV Bronx also said, I'm glad the Rodgers talk is not completely over, but it's over. It's not over, but it's over. That's a fact. It's done. It is done. My man Koof says, my wife only knows Winston because he ate the W. Listen, I hope we can eat some W's. It's cliche, but I hope we can eat some W's for sure. For sure. Let's keep these comments going, man. Because one thing about this channel here, man, if you guys want to share your thoughts, I'm gonna get through it, and we're gonna post these. We're gonna post you up here, man. Shout out to Jerry Carlock. He said that's a new name. Jerry, is that a new name? If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you go ahead and do that, and make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Stop what you're doing right now. If you're typing in the chat, make sure you hit that like button. Let the algorithm know that we in the building. Let the people know that we in the building. My man Jerry Carlock says getting Winston this low puts one of the top free agent guards in play. I didn't think about that. I think I like it. I think I like that way better than Rodgers and Wilson. But my question to you, Jerry, is what guard is left? What guard? We were keeping an eye on Tevin Jenkins. And then he goes, what big name guard is left? I don't know if anybody's left, man. You let me know. Who's left? My man Joshua says, GG, but big dash with the consistency. He says, love watching your videos, brother, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the love and support. Again, shout out to everybody for being a part of. I reached 7,000 subscribers last week, and it's all because of you guys, man, showing that love and support. Couldn't do it without you, man. So again, thank you. Thank you very much for hanging out with me and liking me enough to subscribe to the channel, man. I appreciate it more than you know for sure. For sure. My man Thomas says, enjoying the enthusiasm. Keep up the great information and content. I will do that, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Corey Alum says, Winston might be a backup in New York. Is still pursuing Rodgers' backup money to Winston. Listen, I'm not saying it's impossible, but there's no way that you pay two veteran quarterbacks, in my opinion. I don't think you do that, because if you get Rodgers still, what's the point of getting Winston? What's the point of getting Winston? You already got a guy that's going to start. You're most likely going to get a rookie quarterback, and then you got DeVito too as well. It just seems redundant to go back and still be in play for Rodgers. But we'll see what happens. A lot of people are not willing to give up Rodgers, man. Shout out to my man Marshall, because Marshall was heavy on Aaron Rodgers. I know he is not liking this news right now, but again, we'll see what happens. I gotta go check out Marshall. I didn't see his latest video. I saw that he did go live earlier, but I'm gonna go ahead and check that out because I rock with Marshall. Marshall's my guy for sure. My man Rick Torchy in the building. What's going on, Rick? He says, "What's good, Dash? A good pickup, humble, confident, and a great bridge quarterback. Defense is getting some traction." Yeah, we could talk about that a little bit too, man. You guys know how bad. Like I was talking about Brian Dable and Joe Shane so bad at the end parts of the season and starting to go into this the Senior Bowl week and combine and all that. And then free agency came. I listen, I'm not mad at the moves that he made. I'm looking at how this defensive line is shaping up. I still believe that we need to get a defensive tackle early in the draft, second round, third round, fourth round. We need that too. But I'm looking at this rotation. I'm looking at Ledbetter. I'm looking at the addition of Golston. You still got years with Chapman, and then what's the other guy's name? With the two last names, I can't even remember his name right now. And then Nacho too. I like the way this defensive line is shaping up. We still need one more piece, in my opinion. I'll even double dip at defensive tackle, but we still need at least one more piece next to Dex. But I'm liking the way things are shaping up. The secondary right now. Listen, Rick, I feel good about the secondary right now. I feel really good about the secondary right now. What I need to happen is I need Tate Banks to take that next step. And I need Shane Bowen to scrap whatever defense he was playing last year. You have your top two cornerbacks right now. Their strength is man press corners. I understand you love to play zone on the back end, pause. But we might need to shift that a little bit. We'll see what happens. My man OG, what's going on, OG? He says, I'm cool with Jameis. I can hear your voice in my head, the way you type that with the lowercase Jameis. You're not really excited about it, but you cool with it. You cool with it. You ain't even bother capitalizing the J. So I know you feel a certain way about it, but it is what it is. Shout out to my man Jay Farees with the $9.99 super chat. He says, "You're the man, Big Dash." He says, "Everyone, please like and reply. Big Dash is the hardest working content creator out here. Time to eat some W's. It's definitely time to eat some W's. I appreciate the kind words, sir. And you're a day one too, Jay. You're a day one too. Appreciate the love and support, man. Really do. You guys don't understand how much I appreciate the love and support, man. It keeps me going. Like, listen, at the end of the day, I'm gonna talk Giants football regardless. But when you guys tuning in, vibing with me, commenting, and doing all that stuff, it just makes this whole process even easier to do, even more fun to do. And I appreciate, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, man. If nobody else tells you they appreciate you, Big Dash, me, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for sure. Oh, man. Bourbon Cigars Conference, he says, "I see us messing up the draft." What about it, man? Bourbon, let me know something, man. I need something more than that. Pause. You need to be a little bit, I need a little bit more information. A little bit more information. Thank you for the birthday shout out, Jeffrey. Jerry says Milrose's hands are too small for the northeast weather. Nah, listen, it explains a lot. I'll say that. All the short area accuracy and issues he has on the short passes. Him having smaller hands, it kind of explains that. My man Robert says, "Rob from Jersey. I live in North Carolina. The reason Hyatt doesn't have any touchdowns is because not one quarterback got the ball to him. He always had to come back to the ball." I can't argue with that. I can't. You know what? No. Tommy DeVito hit him in stride. And Tyrod Taylor was able to hit him in stride too. When you look at some of the deep passes from Daniel Jones, like if you go back to 2023 against the Cardinals, when that first play of the second half, the play action deep pass to Jalen Hyatt, he had to wait for that ball. And if he didn't have to wait for the ball, he might have had a touchdown. He might have had a touchdown on that play. But I peep game. I can agree with that. I can't argue with that. And that's one thing about these guys. Jameis Winston will hit you in stride. If we get Shedeur Sanders, he will hit you in stride. If you get Cam Ward, he will definitely hit you in stride. Good, solid quarterback play goes a long way. Good, solid quarterback play makes the offensive line play better too. So we'll see what happens, man. I can't lie. It's March, but I'm a little excited. I'm not going to jump out the window. I'm not going to say we're Super Bowl contenders or nothing like that, but I will say this. I'm a little excited to see what the Giants look like on the field. I'll say that for sure. Let's see here. Shout out to my man Dope Dez in the building. He says defense can be dangerous with the right draft pick. That's a fact too, man. Let me know, Dope Dez. Let me know what you're thinking. What are you thinking, Dope Dez? Yeah, Spencer Rattler. Thank you, Big Jack. That's the guy I was talking about for the Saints. Spencer Rattler. I couldn't think of his name to save my life, man. I see everybody else putting in Rattler too. Wow, I'm that far behind. That's crazy. Let me see if I can get caught up, man. Let me see if I get caught up. Let me go down to. I'm working my way from the bottom. Start working my way back up to the top. My man, yo, Greg, man. Again, your last name is crazy. He says Shane did what he could with our current reputation around the league. I'll say that. Yeah, no, actually, he was able to get some good guys like Javon Holland, Paulson Adebo. He was able to get those guys signed, and Holland, you know, he was a highly sought free agent. So I'm happy with that. But now you're absolutely right. Joe Shane made a fool of himself on Hard Knocks. So he got a lot of reputation to try to build back. So we'll see what happens with that. My man Mysterious One says $4.5 million for a QB1 seems odd for a GM with his job on the line. See, again, when you say $4.5 million, right? It clearly to me, it just clearly points out that this is just one move. We definitely got to draft a quarterback. We're definitely going to draft a quarterback high, in my opinion. You don't just sign Jameis Winston when you had Russell Wilson out there and you had Aaron Rodgers out there, unless you know something that's going on the back end as far as where Rodgers is going and Wilson is going, and also, you know, the big plan, in the big scheme of things, you're drafting either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. I absolutely have to believe that. Let's see. My man Kevin Sullivan says, I'm a fan of the signing. Dude is a gunslinger and relatively cheap. Go BPA at 3, defensive tackle in the 2nd, and trade for Milton for 105. You think you can get Milton for a 4th rounder? I don't want to give up a 4th rounder for Milton. And you know what's crazy with the, like, this Milton thing is gaining a lot of steam, and people saw the one game against the Bills, and I keep on pointing out to people, yeah, he looked fantastic in that game, but it was against the backups. They spent the 7th round draft pick on Milton. For me, I'm not giving up more than a 5th for Joe Milton. Take this 5th and walk. I'll give you a 5th for Milton, but I'm not giving a top 105 pick for Milton. No, sir. I'm sorry. I can't do that. That's a good player. That's a really good player. I mean, given Shane's track record, hopefully it end up being a good player. Shout out to my man Mark Thompson in the building. He says, I like this signing. It is as a backup and as a backup plan, both at the same time. I agree. This is not the main goal to get Jameis Winston. That is not the main goal. Not at all. Not at all. Let's see. My man William Henry says, look, Jones is about to prove us right. Winston is a baller, either Sanders or Dart. Yeah, that's a possibility right now. Sanders or Dart. I think I don't want to concede it, but I think Cam Ward is absolutely going to Tennessee Titans. I think that's something that's absolutely going to happen. So I do believe that at some point in time, it's either going to be Sanders or Jackson Dart. That's a possibility. My man Rafe says, where you from? Where you from for real? You talking to me? You talking to somebody in the chat? I'm from Jersey. Man. Shout out to Vauxhall, New Jersey, 908, Union County. That's where I'm from. Shout out to Jersey. Let's see what we got going on. A lot of shout outs to Mark. That's a fact. Shout out to Mark, man. Hey, Mark, let me know if you want to join. I'll get you the link, man. If you want to join, we can talk about this. My man Corey, remember New York Giants need about 15 to 22 for the draft. Oh yeah, 15 to 22 million for the draft class to get paid. Another 10 to 12 for in-season money would be nice. So Winston Winston is all right. Now, since Winston is here, we can see what Hyatt could be. I do agree with that. My man Jimmy Judge says Jalen Milroe is definitely a pick for the Giants. Listen, it's possible. One thing I'll say about Jalen Milroe, even though I just complained about his intermediate passing, is when it comes to Brian Dable and what Brian Dable is known to do, not what he likes to do. I've been saying what he likes to do, but what he's known to do with the quarterbacks that he's had. He likes to run that QB power. He likes to run that QB sweep. Jalen Milroe can absolutely do something like that. My man Big Jack 757 says Hunter at 3 and another QB in a third or fourth round. McCord. I like McCord a lot. He grew on me too because I didn't like him when he was at Ohio State. He went to Syracuse and he shut me all the way up. He said, let's go Colts. Come on, man. Said Joe Shane negotiating like Mr. Burns. That's hilarious. My man Bourbon Cigars says we need Sanders and Cams, some more D-line help, and a big size running back. We do need a thumper. I think we need a thumper at the running back position for sure. I'm definitely adding a big body running back. He said, "Do the Giants play the Colts?" I don't think we play the Colts next year. I don't think so. What's going on, Luann? See what else is going on. All right, Luann says, Dash, did you see the wide receiver? Yeah, I saw a little Jordan Humphreys. I saw that. I did see that. Shout out to my man Dwayne. Dwayne, where you been, Dwayne? Living life. Hopefully everything is good with you, brother. Dwayne Murphy says, Big Dash, let's go get Shador. That's the plan, man. That's the plan. That's the agenda. That's what it's all about. You get Winston, you get Shador. You got your bridge quarterback. You got a guy that's not going to give you any kind of hard time when it's time to hand over the keys to Shador. I like this Winston signing. If it's Cam Ward, that same situation, even if it's Jackson Dart, it might take a little bit longer, but it's still the same situation. Eventually, he's going to hand over the keys, and he's not going to give you any crap about it. He's not. My man Jay Fury says Milton, laugh out loud, wildly inconsistent in college. He has one good game, and they are already trying to cash out on him. That's a fact. If Milton was so good, why are they trying to get rid of him? You got Drake May and no real backup. No, who did they sign as a backup quarterback? They signed somebody. Was it Josh Dobbs? I think they signed Josh Dobbs. Yeah, man. If Milton was who we think he is, they wouldn't be trying to dip that fast. It's a money grab. Boy, my man Wood, man, he playing no games. He said I will pick up Milton and dump Tommy DeVito. Good Lord, man. Listen, Tommy DeVito's here, man. Listen, you can't get rid of Tommy DeVito right now. It's not happening. I don't know. Unless you get some other quarterbacks in the building and he don't make the 53, Tommy DeVito going to be here. Hold on a second. My man Greg Browns end up with Wilson and then they're going Hunter. I think that's a possibility. I do think that's a possibility. That'd be a best case scenario for us. Like the Browns get Wilson, they stand pat. They either get Carter or Hunter, and then Shador Sanders is right there at 3. Man, that's a perfect situation for me. I wouldn't have it any other way. That's how I want to see it. That is how I want to see it. Shout out to Mark in the building. Is it Lacilento, right? Lacilento? Hopefully that's your real last name. Winston can still throw the deep pass or the 9 route. Absolutely. Giants take Hunter. It's not off the board. Listen, if Cam Ward and Shador Sanders go, just think about it. The worst case scenario for the Giants, even though I don't like it, but the worst case scenario for the Giants is Cam Ward goes to the Titans, Shador Sanders goes to the Browns, and then the New York Giants get to pick the best player in the draft. And the 2 best players in the draft right now are Hunter and Abdul Carter. You get to pick one of those two. That's the worst case scenario. Again, I don't want that. I want the quarterback. But that's a pretty good consolation prize, man, in my opinion. You know, maybe you package some deals and move back into the first. But if I can't get Ward or Sanders, I'm definitely getting Hunter, Abdul Carter, or even Mason Graham. That's definitely what's going to happen. Definitely what's going to happen. Or I can trade back too and try to get a boatload of picks. You know, that's what, there's a couple different ways you can do it. Uh-oh, my man Dwayne Murphy says, what about this crazy theory? All right, I'm going to tap in. He says, we get Shador, and let's say that the first season goes rocky. Dable is fired, and maybe, just maybe, we get primetime coaching in the Big Apple. Listen. Dwayne, you got to throw that one away. That ain't happening. You said it was a crazy theory. That ain't happening, brother. I don't think that's happening. That's definitely crazy. Listen, I wouldn't mind it, but that's definitely crazy. Another question about Little Jordan. It doesn't move the needle for me. For Little Jordan Humphrey, I think he's another guy that has an opportunity to prove himself. The wide receiver room is open in my opinion after the third spot. So if he can make a dent, if he can make an impression, he can make the team. That's how I feel about it. But right now, I don't think anything other than that when it comes to little Jordan Humphreys. I'm just calling him LJ Humphreys. Little Jordan is crazy. My man B Coop, hold on, B Coop. He says, talk to me. East Orange in the building, but Hyatt definitely going to be a part of the trade package for sure. Big homie. B Coop, what's going on, B Coop? East Orange. Shout out to East Orange in the building. I got a couple people from out that way. That's a fact. Dwayne Murphy says, I got another kid on the way. Been a little busy, respectfully. Listen, I'm a dad too. Father time is father time. Daddy time, I should say. Daddy time is daddy time. It is what it is. Go handle your business, brother. Ain't nobody mad at you. But salute to you and congratulations on the kid. You got another kid on the way, man. Congratulations. Hold on a second. Oh, my wife is funny. Let's see. Well, thank you for the birthday wishes, brother. He says, big happy birthday, the big dash. I hope your presence, your present is. I hope so too. Make that happen. Make that happen. Okay. All right, Mark, my bad. I'm just now saying this, Mark. I'm gonna get this sent to you, Mark. You guys give me a second. Get this link in here. Give me just a moment. Bear with me just a moment. Bear with me just a moment. All right, Mark. Okay, Mark. I sent you the invite. It's in your DM on Twitter. My man G242 Marshall says Stafford brother-in-law is a QB coach. Yep. Wonder if we see a better quarterback development as a result. Maybe he's an assistant quarterback coach, right? Because we still got Shea Tierney as a quarterback coach too. So I'm assuming he's assistant quarterback coach. But hey, guess what? The more the merrier. We need all the good coaches that we can get for sure. For sure. Let's see if I can get. My man Greg's to Dwayne's his crazy theory. He says it's a disaster at the box office. He said Winston is not that bad. I think I already answered that question, Luann. It doesn't move the needle for me. Little Jordan Humphrey doesn't move the needle for me. But again, it's another body that can compete during training camp, during the preseason, and has an opportunity to make the 53. I think so. My man Andre, what's going on, Andre? He says, "Hey Dash, how are you doing?" He says, I love it. I love the Winston signing. He said we'll probably draft a quarterback or at least in week 8 or 9, I think the rookie quarterback will play. I think that's a possibility. I think that's a perfect plan for it, especially if you get one of the top guys. You can't hold them off, for a whole season. Just think about it. When we got Eli Manning, we had Kurt Warner. What was it, week 6? They handed over the keys week 6, and then Kurt Warner was doing a pretty good job, right? I do think that's possible, if we get one of those top guys. Now, if we get somebody like Jackson Dart or Jalen Milroe, you might see Winston for the whole year, which would be a good move too. My man Mark talking draft. He says a good 3rd round pick would be Wyatt Millum. That's the guy from West Virginia, because he can play both guard positions and right tackle. That's a fact. I like Millum. I like Wyatt Millum. He actually fell a little bit, because when they first started the whole off season and Senior Bowl and stuff like that. Before Senior Bowl, that Senior Bowl was when he started to slip. He was a lot higher. He was mocked a lot higher than that, and then he started to fall. So we'll see what happens. He might be a guy that you can steal in day 2, day 3, for sure. Depending on how, I don't think he falls out of day 2, but who knows? But he's definitely a solid pickup. My man Greg says Hunter is a future Hall of Famer barring serious injury, and Carter is a future Pro Bowler. So both are good picks and could really help bolster the defense. I believe that. Somebody that also thinks the way that I think, my man, is Falous Jones. He says, not 100% sold on Carter. Falous, talk to me, brother. Let me know if what you're thinking is how I'm thinking when it comes to Abdul Carter. Let me know. I'm curious to see this now. Nova Nebula, what's going on, Nova? He says Winston is likely a backup, which is exactly what I wanted. Now go and get Wilson. I don't think you do both, though, man. I don't think you do both. I think if you were going to go get Wilson, you would have signed him first and then signed Jameis Winston. I think we hear the news that Wilson might be going to the Browns, which is a crazy situation too, because when you look at that Browns locker room now, you're gonna if Wilson signs with the Browns, you got Deshaun Watson. Of course, he's going to be injured. He'll be out with the injury. Kenny Pickett's there, and then you have Russell Wilson. That's a crazy situation to have over there, because once Watson comes back, what kind of deal does Wilson get? I assume Wilson is looking for the same type of deal he was looking for the Giants for, a 2-year deal, but we'll see what happens. I'm not saying that it's impossible though. We still might be able to sign Wilson, but I just think that it's kind of backwards if you do it that way. My man Ron Bees 58 says, I need a young quarterback, but we need good impact players in this draft as well. I do agree. The funny thing about it is now that I'm looking at free agency, I'm looking at the draft a lot differently than I was looking at the draft, 2 weeks ago. Like, we went heavy defensive line. We obviously went secondary, and those were two of the, the weaker spots. And I thought that maybe we addressed those positions higher in the draft. I do think we still do defensive line early, but now I'm looking at the cornerbacks. Like, you might have some cornerback options in the 2nd round. Do you still go ahead and get one of those guys, knowing you have 2 starters right now in Tay Banks and Paulson Adebo? It kind of switches the way that I'm thinking about it. But to your point, we need impact players. And also what this does for me is that prior, 2 weeks ago, I wasn't thinking about taking a running back, before day 3. And now that we addressed all of these holes, if you're looking in that 2nd round and you have a Caleb Johnson that might be available in the 2nd round, Travion Henderson, was it RJ Giddens, like Devin Neal, all these names, you might want to get a running back too early. And then you really have a tandem in the backfield with Tyrone Tracy. I think Shane really did a good job this offseason with some of the pickups. Again, this is all on paper. We need to figure out what's happening. But I can't sit here and say I'm mad at the moves that Joe Shane made. Now, offensive line is still lacking. We brought back guys that are solid, brought back Van Roten. The biggest rumor right now going on is that Evan Neal is going to move to guard, which I can't wait for that to happen. But yeah, man, impact players for sure. We have 5 picks in the top 105 of the draft, man. 3 of those guys got to be day 1 contributors, in my opinion, and the other 2 got to be in the rotation. This is a very, very important in draft. And if Joe Shane does a good enough job, if he does a better job than what he did last year, hey man, sky's the limit. We'll see what happens, man. At the end of the day, it's still about coaching too, and developing the players and good quarterback play. But yeah, man. Shout out to you, Luann. Says my birthday is on Monday. My sister's birthday is on Monday too. I'm the 22nd. My sister's the 24th. It's a lot of March birthdays in my family. My mother is the 5th. My father, rest in peace, it was the 10th. My other sister's the 5th. A lot of us were born in March. We got Pisces and Aries. I'm an Aries. My mom, my dad, one of my sisters, Pisces. My other sister's Aries. You know, and that's just part of my family. That's just the family that was born in March. But shout out to the March babies out there. Oh boy, Luann, I wish I had that same faith. Says I think the Giants will make the playoffs this season. I hope you're absolutely right. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. My man William says talent is there. Dave has to know how to coach him. Yeah, yeah. Oh, which guy you talking about? You said him. Because we talked about a lot of players. Which guy are you talking about? You talking about the quarterback? You talking about somebody else? He said, I forgot about Genty. Genty's going to be long gone. I wouldn't take a running back in the top 10. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. As good as Genty is, I'm not going running back in the first round. No, sir. No, sir. My man Jarius, what's going on, Jarius? He says, let's go. Winston going to air it out. That's a fact. That's a fact. Slayton is faster than Hyatt, people. I don't know, Derek. Oh, Slayton's fast. I think Slayton did have the faster 40 in the combine, if I'm not mistaken, because if I'm not mistaken, Hyatt ran a 4.3, 4.38, 4.39. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think he ran a 4.3 at the combine. I think he did. I'm almost sure. Oh man, said Slayton is faster than Hyatt, and Slayton and Danny connected several times deep over the years. Now that's a fact. Slayton is still that 9 route monster for sure. For sure. My bad, Mark. Let me do it again, Mark. My bad. I thought I put it. Let's see what happened. I think I got it. My bad, Mark. I think it's there now, Mark. My fault. I was wondering where you at, man. I'm saying, oh, you left me hanging. Slayton did run a 4.39. Yeah, there you go. I knew it was something like that. Hyatt did run a 4.4. A lot of people thought Hyatt was going to run faster than that. Hyatt got that kind of speed though when he's on the field. You're not catching him. He get in front of you. You're not catching him. You're not catching him. Yes, he was the best wide receiver the year that he came out. He did get the Blitnikoff. He sure did. He sure did. Just my thoughts. What's going on, man? William says Hyatt is slightly faster. Now that's a fact. Hyatt is Forrest Gump. He runs like Forrest Gump, man. Listen, man. I like Hyatt, man. You guys know it. I'm a fan of Hyatt, man. I'm a fan of Hyatt for sure. I wish nothing but the best for Hyatt, man. I want to see him succeed too, because I think if he can meet his potential, I think if he would have been able to meet his potential now, Darius Slayton probably wouldn't have got that money. But man, I'm just hoping, man. I'm just hoping that he's able to tap in a little bit, man, because the more the better. If he can become a weapon, there's two things. It's twofold, right? If he can become a weapon, he becomes more valuable. And then also, because you have all these guys in front of him, he can become a trade option where you can turn them into draft picks or a draft pick. So I want the best for Hyatt, man. I hate to see him being wasted on the bench. That's one thing I don't like seeing from Hyatt. He says Hyatt can run straight line faster than most. That's a fact. That's a fact. My man Eugene, he says, happy Aries Day, bro. Today is the first day of Aries, which is technically the beginning of the new year. So happy to share that with the chat. That's a fact. Remember, there used to be only 10 months. Before they changed the calendar, there used to be only 10 months in a year. They switched it to 12 months. In the first month of the year, used to be March. Little history lesson for the people out there. Facts that some people don't care about. It is what it is, though. My man Herb says draft young guard, center, sign a vet tackle. There's a couple late round, day 3 centers that I like. I like Jonah Monheim from USC. A little bit earlier than that, I like the young guy. Jared Wilson from Georgia, 1-year starter, but showed a lot of potential. Very athletic. I think he ran the 4.9 40 at the draft. At the combine. He's another guy. Also, interior guards go deep. Pause. There's some late round tackles too. Luke Kandra out of Cincinnati is a guy that I like a lot. John Williams from Cincinnati, also a guy that I like a lot. Day 3 guy. So it is what it is, man. Hopefully you see it now, Mark. It should be, the link should be in the message for you. So whenever you got time, brother, you just go ahead and hop on. Pause. A man Williams says I would keep him, and if we trade him in Dallas or Washington or Philly, get him, we will be kicking ourselves. Listen, I'm not trying to give up any more good plays. Speaking of that, because I didn't get a chance to talk about this yet. Azeez Ojulari goes to the Eagles. Adoree Jackson goes to the Eagles. They team back up with Saquon Barkley. I was mad about the deal that Azeez Ojulari got, but I'm hearing that he didn't want to be here. We offered him a deal and he didn't want to be here. So I take back everything I said about Azeez Ojulari and how we were dumb not to sign him for $4 million. Meanwhile, we offered him a deal, but he didn't want to take it. He wanted to go somewhere else. So guess what? It is what it is. Azeez Ojulari is up. Oh, man, is that true? George Foreman died? I didn't even see that. George Foreman died? Oh, man. Oh, that sucks. Man, I'll verify that, but if it's not, if it's true, man, rest in peace, George Foreman. Damn. That's a legend. That's crazy. Luann asks, what do you think about Theo Johnson? I believe he's going to be good. Listen, when it comes to Theo Johnson, I'll say this about Theo Johnson. I'm mad that Theo Johnson took Daniel Bellinger's spot. I'll say that. I'm a big fan of Daniel Bellinger. But Theo Johnson is pretty good. He's pretty good. What's going on, Mark? How we doing, man?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Just sitting down. Look, happy birthday, man.
Help. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Nah, man, what's going on? I see, like I said, we had some changes finally. We got the news that the quarterback is in the building or signed. Agreed or signed? He's agreed. Almost signed. What are your thoughts about it, man? Let me know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. It's kind of, it's backup money, right? Even with for 2 years, $4 million with you can go up to $8 million. Even that's still backup money. That's good backup money. Tyrod Taylor is getting that, right?
Yep.
So in a sense, it's so it releases the pressure, so to speak, of Wilson or Rodgers or whatever. They could still decide if that's the way they want to go, but it releases that pressure.
Yeah.
And to me, if you do get who you want at 3, maybe who would be Sanders, I would think, if you want him, then yeah, I think, there's a lot going for it. I like it. I know he has a lot of turnovers. I get that. But he throws with anticipation. He sees the field. But if he doesn't have to play, if he doesn't try to play hero ball, and the defense is good this year, he might be better than you think he could be. He had that 1 year under Peyton where he I think over 7 games he had 14 touchdowns, five interceptions, something like that. So a low number for him. So you never know. It might be just the coach, the pairing up with the coaching wise and the scheme. Who knows? But I still don't think he's been given a contract to start, but he could start if other plans don't work out. That's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah. No, and I think the good thing about Jameis Winston too is getting a quarterback in here like I don't know how confident Daniel Jones was. Like he didn't seem confident. I'm not saying that he didn't play. You know for a fact that Jameis Winston is confident in his ability, even
Yeah,
though
for
he's
sure.
even though he's a 50-50 guy. Like the 30 for 30, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. He can give you that as well. But he's very confident and he exudes confidence as well. So I'm happy to see that part of it. But it's interesting that you say, you know, that move is backup money. There could possibly be another move. For me, I think a little bit differently. I'm saying if you
Mhm.
are bringing in Wilson, would you lock him down first and then get Winston, or do you just lock down Winston, like to your point, and still, I got a chance to go get Wilson, or I got a chance to go get somebody? Do you still bring him in, and then what? How does that affect the dynamic in the
I don't
quarterback
think
room?
I just leave the possibility, but the reality is that I think the only other possibility would be Rogers.
Okay.
I think that's really the only other possibility. But I I don't even know. But I think that it just that because of the money that he got, it just suggests that there's something else to come.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if you could say, well, we're definitely gonna. So I mean, if you knew you were going to get a quarterback at 3 in the draft, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
then yes. But we don't know that that's definitely so, right?
Yeah. That's a big thing.
So, right. So if you don't get a QB at 3 in the draft, and you have to get a QB later on, unless of course you decide that you like more than you like a few other QBs. Maybe, I don't know. We don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Suppose they like Shook or
Yeah.
Dart,
Oh boy.
and they're
Oh
gonna
boy.
come. Yeah, and they're gonna come up.
The
I don't.
the
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what.
the the,
Who
the
knows what they're
Tyler
thinking?
the Tyler Shuck thing is coming on strong now too
It
with a lot of
is.
people. It's
It
catching
is.
fire.
Yeah.
Older guy, I believe he's 25. He'll be 26 by the time the
Mm.
season starts. I think it's what the age is.
Yeah.
And the one thing I say about that is when you're dealing with these quarterbacks that are that age, like he's like even Shador Sanders, 23. These
Yes.
guys they're considered older too.
Yeah.
Talking about 25, 26 to me, if you've been in college that long, you better be good. If you're playing against younger guys, hopefully, you look like you've been there for a while. So I don't see all the
Yeah.
hype. I think he is talented though. I think he is
Yeah.
talented, but some people are talking about him possibly going in the first round, and I'm like,
Yes. I'm hearing that too. I didn't. That's not what I would expect. I would.
yeah,
I mean, I was thinking, like third round or something like that. That's
yeah,
what I was thinking.
yeah,
But I'm hearing that too. Who knows? But there's something about the older QB too that you just. I mean, you don't know whether like you may have a high floor, but you don't know whether they've reached their ceiling.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so let's say, for instance, like Bo Nix and Jalen Daniels. They're older. They were older QBs,
yeah. They were.
but clearly they haven't reached the ceiling, right? So, so you never know. I mean, who knows what will happen? But I think it's a good. I think it's a good signing. I think it gives you a kind of a flexibility for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Um, I'm
It,
I'm not a big Russell Wilson fan, by the way.
okay.
So yeah, I'm one of those people. I mean, he really doesn't see the middle of the field too well because he's too short.
Yeah, yeah, he is. Yeah. No, and it's funny too because my wife is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, right? And
Hmm.
she's like she was over Russ. Like she was over Russ after a while. She actually was more intrigued with Justin Fields and what he can
Hmm.
bring because he's younger. She wanted to invest in
Hmm.
Justin Fields, and Justin Fields went to the Jets, and then Russell Wilson still sitting out there. But even the team didn't want Russell Wilson back, and
Which
that's
is
telling.
weird. Which is
And it's
weird
telling.
because he played the rest of the year, right?
He
And
sure
then
did.
at the end of the year, they decided, oh well, we prefer to have Fields. I just thought that was a bit strange, and
Yeah,
I think that kind of didn't help them with trying to secure Fields.
yeah, no, yeah, and then now it said they might not have Russell either. Now to me, I'm happy because to me it seems like, and you brought in a little bit of doubt when it comes to Rodgers. Now again, I wanted to be over this whole Rodgers situation, but you came in here with a little bit of rain on the parade. Like, you know what? Just pump the brakes a little bit. There's still a chance. I don't listen. I'm over the whole Rodgers thing, man.
I'm just
But
going with what I, looking at
possibility.
it, and Shane says, "Look, I'm taking swings." So imagine if he takes swings.
True.
So to me, it could mean a couple of different. It could also mean they're going to pick two QBs in the draft. It could also mean that.
Listen, I wouldn't be against that either. Again,
Yeah.
there's some guys that I like late in day 3. I like McCord. I even liked Cordish Rourke, and then I found out that he was playing with was like an ACL sprain or something like that too for the season. So that's the kid out of was he Indiana? Curtis
What's
Rourke.
his name? What's his name again?
Curtis Rourke. Curtis Rourke.
I don't. Okay. I don't know.
6'5", 225 pounds, but he's slow. He's a statue back there.
Okay.
But again, he
Okay.
was hurt the season. I didn't know that to the end of the season.
All
Shout
right.
out to my man Andre. He done put in he's put in his draft, his mock draft. He says
Okay.
Shador in round 1. He says Darius Alexander. That's the tackle out of Toledo. He's a little bit older too. He's a little bit older prospect.
Yeah.
Then Ozzie Trapillo. That's the guy I believe from Boston, right? Ozzie Trapillo, is that the Boston guy? Boston College, I think, the tackle. Jared Wilson at 99, and that's the center from Georgia.
Center,
So
the center, yeah.
And he's athletic. Only had 1 year starting, but he has a lot of people are saying he has a high ceiling. Very athletic though. 4'9", 44 center, 6'3". He's a little bit light. He's still a little bit light, but he's very athletic. Let's see what else we got going on here. We still got people just getting in the building with the yo-yo-yos and the let's go from the Jessa. Also, you got a shout out too from Michael Hines. He says my brother is Bayesian.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You're getting shout outs, man. People, you're becoming popular. People know that you're from Barbados, man.
Apparently.
They know it, right? Now you make the rounds, man, and shout out to you too, because again, you sent me the link to Giants Rush. You guys were on there talking about the defensive tackles, man. You guys did a good breakdown, man. A good breakdown.
Thank you.
To me, again, that Darius Alexander. Yeah, Darius Alexander. I like what he can bring to the table. Again, he's a little bit older, but still, I need a run stopper. I need a partner for Dexter Lawrence.
Yes, you definitely absolutely need that. I heard today Daniel Jeremiah said that he has 24 starting grades on D tackles. 24. That's what he said. I think there could be about 20, but he said 24. So it's kind of, I wouldn't be surprised.
24 starting grades.
Starters, not just people, and not just draftable, but starters.
So you're getting into deeper when you got like CJ West, that guy. Man, that's a lot. I'm gonna have to. I gotta look at my notes because I know that the class is deep, but 24 starters.
It's deep. The class is very deep.
That's saying a lot. That is saying a lot.
But the class is also deep on edge rushers too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's another thing too, because like my man was saying earlier, the way that Joe Schoen has gone about this off season and free agency, it gives you a little bit more freedom in the draft.
Absolutely.
Now you don't want to run out of defensive tackles, so there's going to be a point in time where the tier just absolutely drops when it comes to defensive tackles.
Yeah.
So I think the sweet spot is the second round and the third round to get one of those top quality guys. Outside of the first. Again, for me, it's Shador Sanders or nothing. So whenever we talk about the first round, I'm just thinking about Shador Sanders. I can't think about anybody else.
Yeah, I like Sanders too.
Yeah, but the like I said, the defensive tackles, that second, third round is a sweet spot. 2 weeks ago, I was looking at cornerbacks too, the possible cornerback that can possibly fall to in 34 or 65, and it's like, okay, well, we done made these moves now. You make Fly the backup, which that's his. I like him better as a backup than a guy that's a fringe starter.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, if a guy like Benjamin Morrison drops, the cornerback from Notre Dame, if he drops because of the injury, Siobhan Revel, he's fallen. What's the kid from Ole Miss? Trey Amos is another cornerback. That could fall. What's the guy? Maxwell Hairston, another one. He might be there in the second round too. Yeah, and he's a speed demon. So I'm happy. I'm happy.
No, I think they're setting themselves up that they can really go BPA and they really go to the strength of the draft.
Yeah.
I mean,
First time in a long time. First time in a
yeah,
long time too.
yeah. I mean, I think he's opened up the purse strings a little bit. I think not just because of the cap space this year, but the cap space next year. So
Yeah.
because of that, he could be a little bit more free. But he still has the same philosophy. He's not going after and spending a ton of money on, he's getting these little, signings here and there. Even though he
Yeah.
had a few splashes, but that was it. So he's still
And
being very, very, diligent in his spending. At least,
I also noticed with the 2 contracts for Holland and then Adebo, those first years are low. They're all the
yes,
first year hits are less than $10 million. Now you get
yeah,
to the second year, they're going to the teens. So
yeah,
he has for the first time in my mind, it looks like he actually has a plan that
yeah.
he's trying to do some things and make sure that there's enough cap space this season to still make moves, and he's doing a good job. And I think that might be the reason why we saw Jameis Winston too, because of how much money that is. You got a guy that he might not be your plan A, B, or C. But you got somebody in here that worst case scenario, Jameis Winston is your starter day one,
Yeah,
and I think you can live with it. I think you could. That's not your first plan. That's not ideal, but I think you can actually live with it. But it all just depends on what happens in the draft too.
yes,
Yeah,
it depends on what. I mean, clearly the plan is let's make this defense as good as it can be, and so it can give you chances of getting the ball back. And if we want to take away the ball, that's what they want to do. Play a lot more. I know you're talking about man coverage, but I actually think that they're probably gonna play very much a zone too, because that's how I mean you take the ball more when you play zone, right? And the kind of safety they went out and got allows, I guess, Boeing to kind of run the kind of scheme he wants
yeah.
to run.
Yeah, that I mean, for me, it's wishful thinking because I think about the strengths of the 2 cornerbacks, especially when it comes to Tate Banks. Tate Banks
Mhm.
is a man press corner, right? And
Mhm.
I thought that he would play a little bit better in the zone because he is athletic.
Mhm.
He didn't have the best ball skills coming out of college, but
Mhm.
I thought that's still something that you can work with. But I'm just thinking, okay, so you have Paulson Adebo that can do both. He can absolutely do both. You have Tay Banks who leans more towards press man, and even when you think about Flott can do both, but Flott was man too a little bit, coming out of LSU. And I'm like, okay, maybe you switch the scheme up a little bit. But when you bring up Holland and his versatility, and then when you also look at Nubin, and people really don't realize that Nubin is a versatile safety too. We
Very
played
much
him a
so,
lot. We played him a lot in the box, but when you looked at him at Minnesota, he's a do-it-all safety too. And then
for sure.
then you look at the defense on the back end now. You can disguise a lot of things. You can play both in the box, not at the same time, but you can interchange both guys into the box, and you keep the offense guessing. Like I don't see. I've gotten excited in previous seasons, right before the season starts. I feel myself getting excited now, but I also know how many times I've fallen on my face. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
be hesitant, but the more I think about it, I'm like, okay. I think the team, in all honesty, the team right now on paper going into the season versus what we looked like going into the season last year is a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
Already, and we haven't even gotten to the draft yet. I need,
Yeah,
I
I
need,
think.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You finish.
And I said, now I need Shane Bowen. I don't want to change the subject because I know you were going staying here. I need to figure out what Shane Bowen's going to do with Bobby Okereke. That's what I need to figure out. But you go ahead with your point.
No, I'm good with that question because I don't even understand it. I don't even understand why you would flip the McFadden and Okereke. I don't get that. So they saw something it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
So I mean, to me, Okereke had just a wonderful season
yeah,
before,
yeah,
and it doesn't make any sense. But maybe it's something to do with the how the D line was playing. Who knows? I don't know.
yeah.
But but the team, the pass rush at the beginning of the year was pretty good.
I absolutely believe that. I want to get to William Henry's comment. He says, Dash, what's his kid name from Houston? And then he answered his own question, Donovan Smith. Listen, Donovan Smith, I was high on Donovan Smith going into the season, the college season. He absolutely disappeared. He absolutely disappeared. Then he also lost his job a little bit too. I watched, what was it, Houston versus UNLV, and I was expecting him to play. I don't even think he played that game. So Donovan Smith, he is draft eligible. I don't know if he's actually in the draft though. I don't think he had a choice. But he's a UDFA. I think he's a UDFA. I just want to get to that point really quickly.
Sure.
It was in the chat.
Yeah.
And then my man Greg too. He said Hurts. Oh no, where's that? It was a comment before this one. Yeah, this is one from Greg that I put up for a second. He says, you need a team that can rush up the middle of the line, put clamps on Hurts, and you have to put the pain on Daniels. Solidifying the secondary and free agency was a good move. But Joe, and then let me go back to where you were. I don't know. It looked like he might have ran out of typing space for that one. But I want to talk about that a little bit because obviously you want to build your team to compete in the division first. That's the whole plan. Compete in the division, and then you take your chances from there. When I look around the division, you have mobile quarterbacks for Dallas, for the Commanders, for the Eagles, and I think that to your point, when it came to switching Bobby O and switching Micah McFadden, I think the only thing that makes sense to me is that Bobby is more athletic than Micah McFadden, so let's play him as a cover backer. That's the only thing I can think of. But even when I think about it, it still doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense.
No, I think you're trying. It's like if you're trying to shore up two places, and then both of them are weak.
No, you're absolutely right. You're trying. So, and a lot of people, and it's funny. It's not funny to me. It's actually it kind of makes me mad. It's like people think that Bobby Okereke just like fell off. I'm like, no, he's playing out of position. He's playing a different role.
He's playing out of position. I mean, McFadden benefited, but eventually, but I don't know. I'm not even sure. I just know. Maybe both of them are suit the same position. Maybe need a different linebacker to pair with Okereke. I don't know.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right about that. Because again, when we went and got Micah McFadden, that was for Wink Martindale's defense. He liked to blitz the A gap and stuff like that. And now Micah McFadden is still doing some of that, but you take it away from Bobby Okereke.
Yep.
And you lose that ability. Let's see what we got going on. Shout out to my man Jeff Whitfield with the $4.99 super chat. He says this move may force Russ to Cleveland, which may also force Cleveland to pass on a quarterback in the draft. We land Shador, even Cam if he slides. Major tactical play. And that's what I thought about it, because there were rumors about Russ showing interest with Cleveland too. And for me, again, I'm thinking I'm playing chess with in my mind. I'm like, okay, what did this move mean? What did you do with this move? And does this force the hand for Russell Wilson? And also because the first time we got any news about Aaron Rodgers visiting any team was today, and then you see a domino fall. So to me, I'm thinking, okay, well, the rest of the dominoes are going to fall soon too. So that's for Jeff. I agree with Jeff. I do think it forces Russ's hands. But I think Russ is depending more on Aaron Rodgers than Jameis Winston was, relying on where Aaron Rodgers was going. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this thing plays out. And if it does play out in a way that Russ goes to Cleveland and Cleveland says, you know what, we're going to hang on to Russ and pass on the quarterback, that's the best thing for me. Now, you said you like Shador Sanders, but when you said it sounded like it was a little bit of Did you hesitate a little bit, or
no? I like Shador.
I wasn't reading you.
I think I like Shador more than most people actually.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think Shador is kind of hard to decipher, because clearly he doesn't have the kind of tools that Ward has, right? I mean, that's obvious, but and it's going to be sound silly when I say it. The biggest thing to me is what lies between his ears.
Yep.
So now that goes for any quarterback, right? So that's why I said it sounds silly, like when I say it, but I do think that he might be really QB smart. And if that's the case, then we really would have ourselves, if we pick him, a top QB. He's accurate. He knows where to go with the ball. I understand he holds on to the ball a bit long. I understand the O line was horrible and all that, and I get all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we might luck out if he falls to us at 3 and we pick him. We might luck out because I do think he has something going for him up here. I do think that.
Yeah,
but it's hard. It's it's purely a projection on my part.
Yeah, all of it right now is projection. Even Travis Hunter is a projection right now.
Yeah.
You can feel strongly about this prospect versus another one. When it comes to the quarterback, it's a crapshoot. We all, at the end of the day, it's always a crapshoot. Look at Caleb Williams. He was labeled generational. He got to Chicago, not the best fit for him with that offense, with that coach, and you saw him struggle. And this year it might look a lot better. But to your point, when it comes to Shedeur Sanders, I've been high on Shedeur Sanders, for a while now. And even last year, I was very high on him. And then I was kind of mad that he actually went back because he didn't have an offensive line. They got him killed last year.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen this year? And then you saw that his pops went straight to the portal and was getting these linemen left and right and trying to bolster that offensive line. And it still wasn't quite where it needed to be. And I think that's the only hurdle left for Colorado. Is if they can start to get some of those hog mollies, like Dave Gettleman used to say, some of those hog mollies that are in that area, because right now he got a lot of warm weather guys coming to Colorado to play the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So once he can figure that out, the offensive line, get them some hog mollies up there, I think Colorado in a couple of years can be very, very good, because I think skill wise with the skill players, I think they're right there with everybody else. Like they don't have a running game still. We'll see what happens with that. But the wide receiver talent, and especially that wide receiver talent, is probably going to be better this year coming in than it was last year, even with Travis Hunter on the squad. So I'm curious to see what happens. What happens there too. I did see another one. My man Mark says Giants need an O-line that can stop Carter and Davis for the Eagles. I like what Mark is doing, and I'm also like what Jeff was doing as well. Talking about the division, right? It's all about this. Carter and Jordan and I'm sorry, Jordan Davis and Carter. Carter is an absolute monster. He's going to be a force to reckon with. Mark, I know you know me. I was very, very high on JMS coming out of college. John Michael Schmitz was my guy to the point where I was calling him my son. That's how highly I thought about JMS.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he has not played up to par, in my opinion. There's a couple of reasons why I feel this way. Obviously, if you had more stability next to him, to be able to build continuity. I think the two guys next to him this past season were probably the best two guys he's had next to him. It's only been 2 seasons. I think this year, you got another year with Runyon. Depending on what they do with Evan Neal, is going to be Runyon and Van Roten again. I think he has the ability to get better, but I'm just not quite sure about JMS. How do you feel about JMS and his offensive line?
I think that he could be the weakest point on the line. So, and that's which is not good for the center. But he has to get. I mean, everybody says he has to get stronger, but I would say he has to get smarter at using his leverage. So he's supposed to be a good wrestler. So maybe that. I mean, but he's got to figure out the best way to use his stoutness. Because he's wide. He's like, and I think and you got to be strong, but he also has to be really smart at how he uses that leverage. I mean, everybody says he's smart. He understands the football and so forth and so on. So, but the way how they have attacked the free agency, they still have planned to start him and keep him going. I mean, Van Roten is versatile.
You're reading my mind. You're reading my mind, Mark.
Yeah, he's versatile, so he's there kind of that can step in. He did step in and play, so I think he's there to be versatile. You never know. And I mean, I don't know. Kubas didn't look bad when he played. People like him. They seem to like him. Will he play right guard? Would he, compete for right guard? Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, with Neil, I guess likely competing for right guard too. I am assuming that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look, the O line, the first whatever 6 games or whatever it was, they played good enough. I mean, they weren't like top 10, top 8, but they were
Yeah.
maybe between 10 and 15. They weren't bad. And if you can get the same players coming back again, more or less, they should be better the next time around.
Yeah.
Right? They should be better next time. So it's not like if you don't have to have like the top third top O
No, you don't.
line,
No, you don't.
but you need a decent O line, and it was decent. It was decent enough.
Yeah.
People forget that, and it still held together later on in the season. It still held together. Never really completely and totally fell apart.
And
But
it was a lot better.
that's the part there where they couldn't make up their mind. They didn't want to move Luminar over to the left and all that kind of thing. And but once he went over to the left, it was better. They tried for like 2 games, I think, with when Thomas went down to try for 2 games.
Yeah.
And didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
So
I think they did add a lot of bodies.
Yeah.
I'll say camp bodies. I don't know who's going to stick for sure. We got the guy Hudson from Cleveland. We
Yeah.
got Stone Forsyth. My main deal is this, because when it comes to Andrew Thomas, I love Andrew Thomas, but it doesn't surprise me when he gets hurt. I think what they tried to do is get some actual swing tackles in here with experience that you don't have to play musical chairs just in case one of these guys go down. If it's a Luminor,
Absolutely.
if it's Andrew Thomas, I don't want to see it. But when you have a guy like Hudson, I don't want Thomas to go down and then you have to take a Luminor from the right tackle, you move him to the left tackle, and now you got, let's still keep some type of continuity on one side of the line. But I like what's going on. But this draft, when I look at day 3 with those picks, I like 2 kids out of Cincinnati, guard tackle out of Cincinnati. I like is a kid Joshua Gray out of Oregon State as a guard. I like him too. There's some players here, and again, with what Joe Shane has done, it takes the pressure away of just drafting for need, and you can, like to your point, pick to the strength of the draft. I want to get to one of these real quick. My man Mark says, "Hey Dash, check out Ricky White." Okay, that's a wide receiver from UNLV, and then the cornerback Dorian Strong for Virginia Tech. Both 4th rounders that can give you big plays. Now I like those 2 guys. I was kind of shocked. There was another kid from Virginia Tech that went back. I can't remember his name right now.
The college players so much better than me.
It's yeah, watch a lot of college football, man. I watch a lot of college football. I wish I'm not even where I want to be, but a lot of these names, they're familiar. They're familiar names. Let me see what else.
Yeah, I like to watch more of it, but I don't get to watch as much of it, and I find myself scrambling when the end of the season, then trying to catch up and who and watch what. Yeah.
Now it's impossible. Like my man, this guy that's in the spaces all the time. His name's Andre. He's a big Alabama fan, but he can go as far as the high school with these kids.
Wow.
Like he could tell you who's coming out in 2030. And I'm just saying, like, I'm nowhere close of where, and to me, that's just a different type of level. I don't even know if I want to get to that level. It is what it is. But somebody here want to talk about running backs too. Pete G says Scadaboo, Martinez, Manungai. Giants need a mid-round running back with power.
Yes,
I like all of those.
That.
I like all those. I think Scadaboo is going to go early. Going to go early.
Martinez, you could get him down maybe in the
I love Martinez.
third, fourth, maybe.
Yeah. I like Martinez a lot, and even Manungai, he is around that same range. Manungai be around that same range. You probably see Martinez go before Manungai, just because of the versatility. He's a little bit bigger. Manungai is short, but he runs with power. But again, like you got the D tackle class is deep. The edge goes pretty deep. The running back, arguably, is the best class in the draft. The best position in the draft. They go deep too. So
tight end too,
Tight end is sneaky. Tight end is a sneaky deep class too. So for me though, I'll go crazy if we draft another tight end early. Like Look,
Wait,
like,
what do you call early? You mean like fourth round? Because that's the two Hyatt, that's where we drafted them, fourth round,
yeah, no,
fourth round,
that's what I'm
right?
saying. We keep drafting over guys. In this, we re-signed Manhurts. I don't know whether or not Daniel Bellinger is in the doghouse or not, and then Theo Thompson is coming back off of injury. You know what? Maybe we do take another tight end.
So there's got to be something to it because I don't
Maybe
understand it.
we do.
I can't see it on the field because to me Bellinger looks good on the field, so I don't get it.
Yes.
Okay,
And every time you throw him the ball, he catches it.
yeah.
You just didn't get a lot of targets.
I mean, okay, he's not your inline blocking, your best inline blocking tight end, but he's a move tight end.
Yeah.
He can do that. He can
He's
do
a
the half
great
back.
blocker.
He can do all that.
He's not a bad blocker. He's
No,
just
he
not
isn't.
dominant. But listen, man. I can't say
I
nothing bad about Daniel
I
Bellinger.
don't. Yeah, I don't get it myself. But you can
Yeah,
see the obvious talent with Johnson. You can see, you
yeah.
can see what he's got. You can see what he's got.
It's a lot of potential. It's a higher ceiling for sure.
Yeah, yeah, you can
Um,
see it.
I
Yeah,
need him to not drop the ball. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I need him
yeah.
to not drop the ball, but when he gets going, he can get going. And then shout out to shout out to Daniel Bellinger's dad. Daniel Bellinger's dad reached out to me a couple of times. He said,
Mm.
thank you for always supporting my son. I was like, listen, I like Daniel Bellinger. I'm not taking no Daniel Bellinger slander because when we drafted him, I really didn't know who he was. And then when he played as a rookie, he played pretty well until he had the eye socket injury. And even when he came back, he was making plays.
Yes.
So
I mean,
I
wait,
like,
it's San Diego State, right? Am I correct?
yep, San Diego State. Yep.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And for me, it's like I like his story, but also I like him because he can actually play. He can
Yeah.
actually play. And for me, we did him a disservice. We went and got Darren Waller because we needed a number one receiver. So they gave us Darren Waller instead of getting us a number one wide receiver. And then he became an afterthought. He became an H-back, fullback, just had him doing all the grunt work. And to the point where a lot of fans forgot what he's able to do.
Yeah.
And, and,
Yeah.
and everything Theo Johnson can do, I believe Daniel Bellinger can do.
Yes, I think that
Why can't we use them both?
I think they're interchangeable. I really do. So
Absolutely.
that makes it flexible. To me, like if you're playing 12 personnel, you could really fool people
Yeah.
with that. I mean, I think they're interchangeable, but I don't something is, something they're seeing that I obviously can't see. So
I would love
I was fearful that when Waller was coming, that he would get set aside, and
Yeah.
that did happen.
Yep.
And marginalized, so to speak. And so I mean, it happened. I don't think there's anything can do about it.
Yeah.
I guess they'll decide. They could draft anybody. They can draft another. I mean, I can see it. It's possible because something's not right there for sure.
I got people still in the chat talking about they don't want Rodgers. Oh man, listen, man.
I don't want him either, but hey,
I don't want him because I don't want that energy. I wanted somebody that wants to be like. It's not even a knock on his talent. Like Aaron Rodgers is still, as far as quarterbacks go, he's still the best or the most talented quarterback that's out there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was all the extra stuff.
Yeah,
and
I don't want it.
I don't even know if he even loves football anymore. I don't. Or is he just trying to prove a point? I was going to say something, but it doesn't make sense. I was going to say this. Remember when Kobe Bryant wanted to retire and then he got hurt towards Achilles and decided, you know what, I'm not leaving the game like this. I'm going to get healthy, come back and leave on my own terms.
Yes.
I think that's kind of what Rodgers wanted to do. And then he didn't quite have the season, the comeback season with the Jets. And I think that he can't stand the way people are thinking about him right now. So he probably wants one more last hurrah to try to go out on a high horse. I think that's just me thinking about Rodgers. I might be overanalyzing, but that's me.
Right? I mean, Rodgers has always played with a big chip on his shoulder.
Absolutely.
So I think you could be totally right on that. But that's the weird thing about Rodgers. He's supposed to be so in touch with his so aware and so forth and so on. So you would think that he would be aware. Well, look, it's time to go. I mean, nobody's going to remember that he played these last 2 seasons with the Jets. See, nobody's going to remember that. Everybody's going to remember the Green Bay times and and all that. So if that's what he's thinking, but I really don't want any part of him, to be honest with you. None.
Listen, I'm over it too. And like I said, until you said what you said when you first got on here, I thought it was absolutely over.
And I don't think it. I think there's still a chance that it's not over. That's what I think. But
that's the part that makes me mad because I agree with you. But I don't want to agree with you, but I do. That's the part that makes me mad. Shout out to Sean Jackson. He says, "What's up, Big Dash? I think you predicted this Jameis signing. I didn't quite predict it. I said he was a possibility. I don't want to take that credit." He says, "I also think Shane can still pick either Cam or Shador. Ironic wasn't Jameis the starting quarterback that DJ went against the first start."
Was it Tampa? Yeah, I guess. Tampa, yeah, I guess it was. I guess he was.
Wow, full circle.
Yeah,
kind of full circle, right?
Yeah, I guess kind of full circle. Okay, yeah, I never thought about that.
My man, White Lotus says Green Boys. So he's Green Boys like Bellinger. Oh, he thinks Bellinger's still green, has more time to develop, needs more time to develop. I think they threw him in the fire his rookie year, and I think he did pretty good.
He acquitted himself well.
Yeah, I think he did. I don't think he's as green as you think he is, White Lotus. And again, I just think with what you're looking for, he wasn't a dynamic player. You picked him up in the 5th round, and he held his own. He reminded me of exact. That's the perfect way to explain it. He's a solid guy, not spectacular, solid guy, but I do think if we were able to develop him a little bit more, he would be a lot better than what he is right now. And who knows, really? Because again, he's another guy just like Jalen Hyatt. He didn't have enough snaps to register a grade on PFF. They couldn't even give him a grade on the season because he didn't have enough snaps. I don't want to turn it into. I'm gonna talk about it just for a little bit. When it comes to our coaching staff, the one thing I don't like is that I think they did kind of give up on some of their players. They Daniel Bellinger, once they got Waller and he went to the back burner, they kind of said, you know what, forget about it. We went and got Theo Johnson. Now we got Manhurts. Those are 2 tight ends. When you look at Jalen Hyatt, they actually traded draft capital away to move up to get Jalen Hyatt. And then his rookie season, he showed some flashes. He didn't get a touchdown, showed some flashes. And then you go and get Malik Neighbors, he becomes an afterthought. Now he has to do better himself. I'm not going to blame just the coaches on that. But some of these players, Joshua Ezeudu, when Ezeudu first came out, Andrew Thomas had got some cleanup on his ankle, and Joshua Ezeudu was playing left tackle. And they kept switching him back and forth. He never got a chance to get settled in a position. And and it keeps on repeating. You're drafting these guys, but you're not giving these guys a chance to do, except if your name is Evan Neal. You're giving Evan Neal every chance in the world to show that he can play. But I'm sitting here like, man, we got to develop some of these players, man, because we keep letting go of guys. They go somewhere else and they become better. And I don't like it. Ben Bredesen, we had him for a little bit, even though we didn't draft him. He went to Tampa Bay, just got new money. Matt Pert went to Denver. We thought he was god awful, and then he became a playable player, in Denver. So I think development has a lot to do with it too, man. I think they need to do a lot of things, man. It's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a lot of things that we need to work on.
I think one of the biggest mistakes that Shane has made was letting Julian Love go.
Oh man,
because that's like a whole domino effect. Because Julian Love, you could have got him in for cheap. I know that they said they offered him more than Seattle and all that, and by the time he came back, they were already gone off of him, and they were signing Slayton. I heard all that, but I think that if they had Julian Love, they would never have found themselves in the position they're in right now, where they would be having to sign Holland or anybody like that, because Julian Love would have been a safety valve against you losing McKinney.
That's a fact.
And so you got Julian Love there. You can let McKinney walk because you have him, and then you draft Newman, and you still have Pinot on the team. as a backup. So to me, it was the whole domino effect there. I think and that was leadership as well. It wasn't just playing; it was leadership, all of that. I just think that was a big mistake to let Julian Love walk out through the door.
Yeah, back in 2022, that's when I started the channel, and I did mid-season grades, and everybody was so hyped about Dexter Lawrence, because that was Dexter Lawrence like breakout year. He moved to the nose tackle, and I had like what was it? McKinney had got hurt, and Julian Love just stepped right in. But Julian Love was leading the team in tackles. I believe he was also leading the team in interceptions early in the season. He was like one of the top players, and I was really, really high on Julian Love. And the crazy thing, he went from a cornerback at Notre Dame to a safety, and he's thriving. And look, he's at Seattle now, and he's thriving at Seattle too. I think you're absolutely right when it comes to another player that we let go, homegrown player, a Jerome Henderson product. But I like it though. Let me shout out the super chat right here for Pete. Pete with the $1.99 super chat. All he wrote down was Kyle McCord. I need a little bit more than that, Pete. Do you want us to talk about Kyle McCord? Listen, I said it earlier. When it comes to Kyle McCord, I didn't like him at Ohio State. He went to Syracuse, played very well, and he shut me up. Kyle McCord, I wouldn't be mad at adding him as a late quarterback.
Late rounder, yeah.
Yeah. Day 3. Pick up developmental quarterback. I think he has a good skill set. Tough guy, can move a lot better than people give him credit, and he can make a lot of throws. I like Kyle McCord. I hated him at Ohio State, but
no, you can pick 2 QBs. I mean, last year the Patriots picked 2 QBs.
Sure did. They sure did.
I mean, the year that RG3 came out, Cousins was also picked in the same draft.
Yeah.
So it's doing very possible. You could pick 2 QBs. Very doable.
I'll say this right now. Respectfully, I'll take Kyle McCord over Tommy DeVito right now. Like right now.
I actually don't think Tommy DeVito is going to make this team.
I wouldn't be surprised at that either. I wouldn't be surprised.
Not if they pick 2 QBs.
Oh yeah, no,
he's pick a QB and another free. I don't think he's going to make the team.
If you bring in a fourth quarterback, most likely he's not going to make the team. It depends on who that person is, and if we draft one, he definitely probably won't. If we draft 2, to your point, he probably doesn't make the team.
No, he doesn't make the team. No,
he'll hang around the practice squad most likely though. Yeah, because they like him. They do like him in the building. I'll say that he is.
Yeah, they like him. Yeah, for sure. If not, he wouldn't be there, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Right.
Yeah, if he wasn't there.
All right. Sean Jackson says, you guys talking about tight ends. Shane has usually made a big trade each offseason or draft. So you never know. You never know. He could trade for Kyle Pitts or some other talented guys we're not expecting. I don't think Atlanta lets go of Kyle Pitts for one reason. Michael Penix Jr. And
I'd be shocked if they did that.
Yeah, because he has Michael Penix. I'm sorry, not Michael Penix. Kyle Pitts, very, very talented, has played with bad quarterbacks since he's been there. He's been dealing with Ritter. He had the guy from what was the guy that Heineke that was there for a while. And I don't know who he had before that, because I think he came out the same year as Ritter, if I'm not mistaken.
He had Matt Ryan, right?
Did he have Matt Ryan? Was he there for Matt Ryan?
I think so.
Before Matt Ryan went to the Colts, huh?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Was he?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I'm not 100% sure, because I think Pitts is in his 3rd year. This might be his 4th year.
I think it's 4th year.
Okay, so he might have caught that last year, Matt Ryan, but even after that, like, he's been playing with bad quarterbacks, and then also Arthur Smith was heavy run. So it is what it is. I think Michael Penix can probably do a lot with him. We'll see what happens this year. I think they hold on to him this year, and then also
Michael Penix, that's your boy.
Yeah, I love Michael Penix, man. I love Michael Penix for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Pete again with the $1.99 super chat. He says Orange Gatson 2. That's a tight end, right? Orange Gatson?
I don't know. Is he a tight end?
I think Gatson is a tight end.
That name is not familiar to me.
Let me be absolutely honest with you, Pete. I have not been looking at tight ends this year.
That name is not. You got me on that one, Pete.
Yeah, outside of was it Loveland and the kid from Penn State and there's one other one. Outside of those guys, I haven't looked at the tight ends really because I don't want to pick up a tight end. Let's see. Pete, finally, Pete with a full sentence this time. Shout out to Pete. He says 2 dudes in the first few rounds that can make your offense hit. We need that. We need to hit the other team. Seems like we are getting hit more than hitting. Yeah, we're not aggressive. We're not aggressive. We need to be a little bit more aggressive. We need to be the ones that do the punching, not getting punched. You know, I don't mind a good counter punch, but let's be on the offensive instead of the defensive. I'm still trying to figure out who Orange Gatson is. I think that's a tight end.
Tight end, yeah, Syracuse.
Okay, all right, yeah, all right. There you go.
21 years old.
Okay, so he's young. Okay. Shout out to my man Nimmer. Nimmer in the building. He says, "Do you think the Giants draft Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward?" Nimmer, man, listen. I think Cam Ward is off the table. I think the Tennessee Titans are absolutely taking Cam Ward. It's up to the Browns if we get Shedeur Sanders or not. If we can't trade up, I think it's up to the Browns whether the New York Giants get Shedeur Sanders. I will say this though. If Shedeur Sanders is on the board, the closest I am to 100% that I can be, I think he's the pick. I think he's the pick for the Giants if he's there.
I think so too. I think so. I think they've just been, the Chin is smart. He does his homework. So because he does his homework, people are always guessing like where he is. So he's doing his homework all over the place. So you can't figure out exactly who he wants or what he's going to do. So if he's looking at quarterbacks, he's looking at all 10 quarterbacks for argument's sake.
Yeah.
If he's looking at quarterbacks, he's looking at the free agency too. So you don't know what he's going to be about. You have no idea.
Listen, it's exciting. Right now it's exciting. We're just under a month away from the draft, and there's a lot of drama to be played out. It's a lot that can happen. We're still waiting on Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, and depending on where they go, it could give you a tell of where Cleveland goes. And I see a lot of people in the chat saying now Cleveland's going to pass on Shedeur. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Like just think about it. Like, and I've been in a couple Cleveland Browns spaces listening to that fan base, and when I think sometimes us as Giants fans are crazy, Cleveland Browns fans are just as crazy as us, man. And it's funny too because I was in one, and you know how we talked about like Arch Manning, and a lot of Giants fans want to Cleveland Browns talking about Arch Manning too, like 2 years, like draft Hunter and we can get Arch in 2 seasons. I'm like, I hope your GM thinks that way. I hope they think that way.
Arch Manning is not coming out until his senior year.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how many times, like I've said it, you just said it. How many times you're going to tell people, like, he's not coming out in 2020, in 2026. That's not happening. He's not coming out after 1 year of starting. The Mannings don't do that. It's not like he's hurting for money. Even if he graduated early, it still wouldn't be 2026.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. And also, can the kid play first? Can he play first before we make him Peyton Manning? Let him play first, please. Because right now they're playing him like Taysom Hill. They have him running the ball like crazy at Texas. Like every time he got into the game, they handed him off, not handing him the ball, but it was like a QB draw, QB power, QB options. Like, what are you doing? You know, hurt the kid before he actually gets a chance to play. My man, he is. Listen, he takes the crown as far as Mannings go with athleticism.
Got it from his grandfather, obviously.
There you go. Because I say Eli didn't have it, Peyton didn't have it, maybe Cooper had it, but Arch for sure has it. Arch for sure is athletic, most athletic Manning I've ever seen. But I didn't see Cooper play, so I don't know. I think Cooper played wide receiver. His dad played wide receiver.
Yes, he played. Yeah, he played wide receiver. Yeah.
Was it Tennessee or Ole Miss he played at? I can't remember now.
He played at
Ole Miss.
Wait.
think it was Ole Miss.
I think you're right. I think it's Ole Miss. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Okay,
And
Joe,
yeah, I think it's Ole Miss. Right.
okay, yeah. Joe Blacco says he says Joe painted himself into a corner. Now he has to trade up. Listen, I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Let me tell you something. Let me ask you this, Mark, because I remember seeing the bottom of that wine glass, and all of a sudden you have more wine. Did somebody help you out with that, or are you doing magic tricks over here?
That's a magic trick.
What are we sipping on? What's the wine of choice?
It's a glass of port.
Oh, port. Oh, you like the heavy stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
like
that's right. Yeah, glass of port.
Okay, there you go. Now
10-year
now you got to get sponsored by him. Let's do that. Let's do that.
So
I never gave it a chance. Port. I know that it's supposed to be like a heavier wine. Is it the stronger alcohol level to it, or no? It's just
it can be, but it's not. It can be strong. Yeah, but I kind of picked up on it when I started smoking cigars.
Okay. So
and I used to smoke. I don't even touch cigars now, but I used to smoke cigars, and it just goes well with a cigar.
Okay.
On a Friday evening, I just cigar by myself on my patio, and nobody to bother me, and that's it.
See, I don't smoke at all, but I always thought it was cool because my father-in-law, he does the cigars when he gets around, his friends and stuff like that, and I always thought about it like, maybe I can sit on my back patio and get a cigar, and it's like, nah, maybe not.
It's a acquired taste. I kind of started. I started doing that 30 years ago. Okay. So but I would say the last 10 years I haven't done much of it. So
okay, you got your port now, so you
I just drink port. That's good enough. Yeah,
I know now. I want to maybe after this I get me a little red wine too. Maybe I hang out.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
I got a couple things in the cabinet. I don't dabble too much. What's this? Somebody talking about taste buds, but didn't what's it? All right, here we go. Somebody we can talk about. So Nimmer says, I would draft Jackson Dart in the second round. I haven't got your thoughts on Jackson Dart, really. I don't think.
Jackson Dart. I mean, everybody talks about the offense that he's in. Oh, it's not an NFL offense and all that kind of stuff, and so it kind of makes it kind of difficult to kind of project how he's going to be. But I actually like Jackson Dart. I think he sees the field pretty well. I think he anticipates pretty well. I like him. I don't think he's all world or anything like that. But I think I think he's okay. I think he's all right. To me, what I see is you make mistakes like anybody else, but I do see that he has a good release. He's got a strong arm. And but I mean, like anything else, he's got to work on his accuracy, and I think the accuracy, from what I see, is mainly a technical thing in terms of his feet position. That's what I see so far. Yeah. But I'm okay with him. I think he'd be all right. I actually think that there are a bunch of QBs in the draft that are pretty okay. So like they may not be elite quarterbacks, but they may be okay starting, or they may be really good backups career wise. So I think you got a whole bunch of them that could be like that.
Yeah. So I think for me, I think people think that I don't like Dart because I talk so much about Shedeur Sanders. Mm-hmm. And you know what? The reason why I talk about Shedeur Sanders so much is because I've watched Shedeur Sanders since he was a kid. Like even before football, his father had the reality show on cable, on television, and I just followed Shedeur Sanders from there. But also he played a quarterback level good. Another reason why I talk about Shedeur Sanders so much is because of a lot of the hate that he gets, and I think it's unwarranted, and I think it's a lot of people being disingenuous on what he can do. Now back to Jackson Dart. I absolutely like Jackson. I don't love him. I like him a lot,. Because he does have the intangibles and also has a good enough arm actually a pretty good arm.
Yeah.
He can make a lot of the throws, but he's also very, very athletic, and he actually fits the mold of a Brian Dable quarterback. I just don't think that he's at the level right now. His floor is anywhere near Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he can't get there or anything like that. I just like those guys so much more. And I don't talk about them so much. I mean, as much because I just want Shedeur Sanders. That I'm trying to put it out there in the universe. They say
Yeah.
if you ask for it, and it'll come to you. So that's what I'm trying to do. Bring some of that universal power.
It may just happen too.
Listen, let me tell you something, Mark. if we get Shedeur Sanders, if we draft Shedeur Sanders, if I'm not live already, it's going to be a party. It's going to be a Thursday night. Maybe I'll take the PTO now. Maybe I'll put in my time now for Friday after the first round, so I don't have to go to work. But it's going to be a party, and I might be on here for a long time.
Yeah, it's that if it did happen, it might be a nice birthday gift for me because the actual Thursday of the draft is my birthday.
Oh, see, there you go. That's all I needed to know. There you go. I'm asking the universe. Make it happen. On Mark's birthday, guess what? Maybe I'll buy a bottle of port and we can be on here and I'll get a glass and we can cheers.
Absolutely. No,
And you can see my reaction to my first time drinking port. See if I like it or not, because my face does not lie at all. Let's see. Yeah, we almost at the 2-hour mark, man. I'm getting.
Wow, yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah,
Wow.
listen. I was only planning on going on for like a half an hour again. I'm not doing the show tomorrow, the Late Night Giants Talk, because tomorrow's my birthday. Family's taking me out to dinner.
Yep.
Have me a couple old fashions. That's my drink of choice. Love old fashions. I'm on trip 42 around the sun. So it is what it is, man. I'm gonna enjoy my family tomorrow. But I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Shout out to everybody that was hanging. We're 130 strong. Make sure you guys hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, because some of these names are new names. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, shame on you. If you're a Giants fan, shame on you. But you can fix that by hitting that like and subscribe button right now. Mark, every time I have you on, it hasn't been many times, but every time I had you on, please start your own show. I like the vibe, love the vibe, very knowledgeable, easy to talk to. It's not just me. I saw you on the Revival show. I think you got a good presence, man. I think you should do something like that, man.
I mean, your Rush show, you mean?
Huh?
The Rush show. The Rush one. Your Rush.
Yeah. What did I say? Yeah. Revival? I said Revival?
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah. New York Giants Rush. I'm sorry. Yeah, New York Giants Rush. Well, yeah, and if you guys haven't seen that too, he was on the episode, the D tackle, talking to D tackle prospects in this draft. So if you get a chance to go ahead and check that out. Great show, great breakdown. But I'm gonna let you, tell the people, anything that you want to tell them before we close out. Again, I want to see a Mark Thompson show. I want to see a Mark Thompson show. But let me get your closing thoughts, man, before we get out of here.
Well, Dash, thanks for having me on. It was great talking some football tonight. Perfect timing. I thought when you reached out, I said, "Oh, great! I'll just come in and chat away." Look, I think we just got to be patient. We just, we want everything to happen to me. It's actually getting crazy with the whole Rodgers thing, and who knows? Maybe this might quiet down things a little bit. I do think the guys, it's clear they have a plan. Hopefully it works. I do think that better quarterback play will definitely raise the level of the team. I do hope that the O-line will not get so injured this year. I mean, if Andrew Thomas stays, we'll have a decent O-line.
Yeah.
And I'm based on the additions on the defense, we could take the ball away a lot more, and that will help this team tremendously. So we'll see how it goes, but it still all depends on quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I'm excited now. I get to go to bed with a quarterback. You know what I mean? We have a quarterback. I don't have to wake up tomorrow morning checking my phone to see where Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or even Jameis Winston or Joe Flacco went. We have us a quarterback right now. I feel a little bit satisfied. But again, Mark, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for joining. Again, like I said, I see your name. I'm going to invite you, man. I have a good time every time we get a chance to talk Giants ball, man. And that's what I love about my channel. This platform is Giants fans getting a chance to talk just Giants and whatever else. We talked about port wine. We talked about cigars. We talked about all that stuff, man. And also, if you just look at the chat too, a lot of people, they give you shots out. They show you a lot of love too. But man, thank you again for joining.
Yeah, sorry. I wasn't really reading. Yeah.
No, you get a lot of love, man. And that's one thing I like about this fan base too, man. They do show a lot of love. They do show a lot of support. But again, thank you for joining.
Yeah, somebody saying that sound like I'm from Barbados. Yeah, that's correct. I am from Barbados.
Spot on, right? Like there you go. And then somebody let him know. They confirmed it. It's like he's Bayesian. Like you ain't got to keep saying he is Bayesian. Mark is, but if you didn't know, Mark is from Barbados. And right now, if he goes outside, he can see the ocean. I'm jealous. I'm in the desert. I'm in the desert. But no, Mark, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on. And I'm gonna close this thing out too as well.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Have a good night.
Okay, man. Good.
Thank you. All right, everybody. I'm gonna close this thing out, man. Again, I appreciate everybody for vibing with me. 120 still strong. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And guess what? It's just going to keep going. We still got a lot of free agency left with the signing of Jameis Winston. We still got a little bit more money to push, and we'll see what happens with that. Let me see if I make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I think I'm good. I think we're safe enough to get off here. But no, hopefully everybody enjoys their weekend. Hopefully everybody is enjoying that we have a quarterback. This whole scenario of not having a quarterback is over for right now. Again, that's just a part of the plan, not the big plan. We got the draft coming up, and hopefully we can land our future franchise quarterback. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Hopefully everybody has a safe weekend. Hopefully everybody enjoys their weekend. And you know what? Let's go Giants. Let's go